was a prolific year for me. I started out in January or February with publishing a second book in a series I'm doing for children called Turbo Racers. And that was followed up with a publication from Lonely Planet's National Scenic Trails book. I wrote the section for the Arizona Trail. And then I co-authored a book called The Endangereds with Philippe Cousteau Jr. And we partnered to create this book for kids that puts animals in the driver's seat, taking matters into their own hands, paws, and claws. There are ways in which I'm trying to affect the world, right? And as a public official, I get 1 out of 7 votes on city council to put ideas forward. But storytelling is a really powerful way to make change happen in the world as well. Interdependence and sustainability are big themes in a lot of my books. And it comes back to my love of the environment, a desire to protect biodiversity, and making this planet a place that we can all enjoy and not just take from.
We wrote a book that's about homelessness, maybe from a homeless point of view. I was taking my dogs to the dog park and I saw a man sitting there and he just didn't look right to me. That was this guy. And then I started to think that maybe I should look at my own way of looking at things.
Yeah, she asked me, well, what do you think about writing a book? I personally thought she was crazier than I am, but yet here we are.
Kathy was my professor in my thesis chair, and I did research on day labor done by people without homes. And when this book idea came about, Kathy maybe thought, hey, here's another aspect of homeless life work, and maybe we could include this.
There have been at least 10 book clubs that have read the book, and then the social work department at NAU is using the book. We also participated in the Art in Action program, and then the NARBA Institute is doing an animated film based on the stories in the book.
It's all something that I would have never in my wildest dreams anticipated.
And without Ross's story, seeing myself for Ross's story, he would be this scary guy in the dog park who I was lucky to leave one day. Right. And now he's a lifelong friend.
I guess I'm nominated because I walked around and took a lot of photos in the past 22 years or so, and they were collected and put in a beautiful book. It was community funded through Kickstarter, so it's a Flagstaff funded project with the emphasis under the word fun and funded. I decided after I got rid of a car not to get another one. So walking around Flagstaff allows you to really see the town. And people of Flagstaff decorate their yards. And they paint murals on walls. And just all kinds of wonderful, strange stuff out there. So I began taking a camera with me and taking shots and then putting them on a blog. And people liked them, so I just kept doing it. I called it Walking Flagstaff.
PARCHED as a project was 2 years in the making. So when COVID happened and we were faced with fewer people being able to attend the exhibition itself, the documentary was a great way to sort of showcase everything that went into the exhibition, but also to reach an expanded, potentially more diverse audience. So I think that outreach was really core to the mission of the exhibition to begin with, but successful because of the documentary.
The story of PARCHED is many stories, and I think that's why it resonates. Hearing the voices of the artists and just a little bit of information about the thinking that went on behind the pieces made those pieces so much more accessible.
So I thought a lot of an audience member who would come to see the exhibit and how they would want to view the pieces. And maybe beyond that, I hope the video offers, new perspectives on the art. It got to the point where I got out note cards and had all the vignettes written out and all the scientists, and we were moving note cards around, and I think that was the most complicated part, but I think everyone's familiarity with the concept, having worked on it for 2 years, helped me a lot.
And the story wouldn't be here were it not for the work of the artists. However, the documentary takes us back visually to the sites that the artist visited, with a lot of the support of some of the water experts that are in the film. So it's a really nice supplement, but also stands on its own as a solid work in and of itself, the film.
I've been a storyteller professionally, a filmmaker for the past 15 years. A lot of the video projects that I produced in 2020 were COVID related. As soon as the outbreak started, there was a need for PPEs on the Navajo reservation. And so I was contacted to film a water distribution, which happened to be from Jason Momoa's company, Mananalu Water. I also created a couple music videos in 2020.
So I stay woke, can't always be sleeping on what's hidden, what it really kidding. Can you feel for me? East side, ride with me now. Downtown, ride with me now.
I really feel like music videos is a way to exhibit the talents of Native people on a very doable scale. Storytelling has always been a way to know more about myself and then also to uplift the community as well. Looking forward, the stories I would like to tell are more narrative stories that create Native people in the present tense as not just being someone of like yesteryear, of like an Edward Curtis photo or anything. Seeing ourselves in the modernity of mainstream today. I think if we imagine ourselves, then we can change things that like have been institutionalized and put in place to disenfranchise Indigenous people.